Let's move on to the Magpies, who were spirited early. They lost in the end. Nathan Buckley didn't like the question about the board shenanigans after the game.
What's your message to these people?
No, I don't have a message for them, mate. I coach the footy team. There's a lot of focus on plenty of things that none of those boys or I are in control of, and we'll ask the questions of the people that are. We work on our ground ball, our marking, our connection, our offence, our defence. There's plenty of things for us to fill our mind with. We don't need anything more to clog it up. We've got our own work to do, and we're endeavouring to get on with it.
His footy side's not going that well, but you've got no chance. We talk about how good you need to be at board level and above you. And I know when I was young, I didn't think that affected things. But I heard a saying once from Tim Watson say, the fish rots at the head. And I just feel that unless you get things right off field, it filters all the way down. And when Nathan Buckley's having to deal with questions like that, what's going on with his future, the board, does my contract have to wait till we know who the president is, all those sorts of things. Players get affected by it. He's not. I'm not. Nathan's been there a long time, and it's this year where he's been probably affected most. But they've got no chance of success with everything that's going on.
Alistair Clarkson once publicly referred to it as the pillars, didn't he? You have to have the pillars right, and at the moment the pillars have been crumbling around Nathan Buckley.
We're seeing it's a strategic game being played. We've seen even the club sponsor lend their voice to one side of the argument, Sam. So you don't see that every day of the week.
No, you don't at all. I agree, Hutchie. This is the CEO of Latrobe Financial, one of their major sponsors, Greg O'Neill. It's all about getting these parties together around the same table and listening to the concerns and reaching a consensus for the benefit of the club and not for any singular individual's agenda. Hutchie, you're the business mind on the panel. That's quite unusual, is it not, that a major sponsor would publicly come out and make a statement like that?
I know Greg. I sit on a board with him. He's very influential in sport and in basketball, and generally it looks for shared solutions. So I would take those comments in the context they were meant to, which was good spirited to try and find a solution.
Do you think he would have come out and offered his opinion, or do you think someone would have sought him out, or the club would have?
No, I don't think he was put up to it. He's his own man. He's a stability guy, and I think. But you don't see it every day. What it does is shows you how big a club Collingwood is, that the issue goes down to kind of that level, which is off field as well.
And the politics, when it gets messy through politics like this, it's no good for anyone. And
it's hard to see this kind of whisper campaign slowing down any time soon at Collingwood behind the scenes, isn't it? Like
well, it's no longer a whisper campaign, Hutchie. I mean, Jeff Brown is challenging, and I still think that Nathan Buckley is going to be extended.
Okay.
Hutchie, just want to talk about Ken Hinkley. He was the coach against Collingwood on yesterday, and he had some interesting thing to say about the way the game was played.
Clearly, from our point of view, it wasn't a great game. I mean, there was a clear style that Collingwood wanted to hold onto the ball on us and keep the ball off us, work us over in defence. But the only thing from our point of view I can say is that we stuck at it and we won. I thought they played a pretty good brand of footy that they wanted to play to challenge us, and they managed to do it better than us for most parts of the game.
And I think what Ken's getting at, there's going to be a low-scoring game. I think they wanted to win maybe by 10 goals to 9 or 10 goals to 8 or something like that, which they weren't able to hold on and do, although they started well. But this is the last quarter. Port played on 46% of the time, which is off the charts. Collingwood played on 16% of the time. So it's inside 50 was similar. But I'll just show this, Kane. So they were out here. Jordan De Goey had McCreery one-on-one. Look what he decided to do with 1 point down. Go out here.
With 7 minutes to go, yeah. So I think there was a distinct message at three-quarter time from Hinkley to say, we are going to win this game. I'm not sure there was the same coming from the Collingwood instruction at three-quarter time. I think they were more looking to save it. But for Ken to say that, I think there'd be some other teams looking at what Collingwood did against them to deny them the ball because it worked. They were the better team yesterday. They should have won that game.
Does he not trust his players, Nathan?
I think he's so defensive-minded that, it's sort of, I remember, he'll, as I said, I don't think he believes in his forwards. It's amazing to hear Darcy Moore's dad come out and say it'd be a fluke if someone kicked 5. So to me, that means players don't believe that you can prosper as a forward.
But Lloydie, they weren't like this in 2018. It's not that long ago, is it? No. They weren't moving the ball like that.
No, they fixed it up. They were before that. And then they got it right that season, which they haven't had since.
Another quiet day for Jordan De Goey, Hutchie. He played on Trent McKenzie, who's been in the SANFL all year. So it was his first game at AFL level. He's beaten by McKenzie convincingly. In fact, I thought he was very good. So there's his numbers on the year. We've spoken about him a lot, besides that 6-goal game against North Melbourne, which skews the goal average a little bit. He's not having the output of a $750,000 to $800,000 player. The fact that he's only contracted, Sam, until the end of 2022, so he is a bit more movable than other players. Do you think he is one that still has currency and one they might look to move? And are they still under salary cap pressure?
I think they are. I mean, I think...
How could they be?
Well, I think they had to go through such a major restructure with their cap last year, and then you've got the reduction in the TPP that hit every club. I still think there's a bit of a squeeze at Collingwood. And I think the fact of the matter is, Hutchie, that if they're rebuilding or regenerating, whatever word you want to use, if a club came to them and gave them a good offer for a man on big money that at the moment is underperforming, they would have to look at it. I mean, there's no other way.
Did you move him?
Yeah, I spoke. My belief is that if you don't believe Jordan is ever going to be the professional footballer that the champions are, I'd move him on. And I don't see a Bontempelli, a Petrarca, those type, an attitude in the way he prepares, or just by watching the way he performs. So I would at the right price.
And remember, Hutchie, they might need the points. I mean, they've got Nick Dacos coming in as well. He's going to go yelled out at pick one. You would think, you can see they're there, pick one worth 3,000 points, and they've currently got just over half of that. So there'll be clubs coming for some Collingwood stars at the end of this year, and they're going to have to listen to some offers.
There's still a market for him.
Yes,
definitely.
It's probably pick 11 to pick 19.
It's about that,
somewhere
I
in
think,
there.
Plus something.
And there'd be a Swans or a Brisbane or a Fremantle even that would have a look at it, I reckon. It will be interesting. It's going to be a wild off-season as it always is.